Gilbert and George, two artists from London. You brought your London pictures to Duisburg, to the Museum Küppersmühle here in the Innenhafen, and I heard it's the first time you are here.
Good morning, yes. We are Gilbert and George. Yes, it's our first exhibition in Germany for many years, in fact.
And how did you come to that contact?
I think because we were introduced to Walter Schmerling, and he became quite a big supporter of us, and he wanted us to do a show here.
Okay.
And we came here last year to have a look at the space.
And how do you like it?
We like it.
We are very fond of the space. It's an ideal space for our pictures.
And we like very much Walter Schmerling because he's such an enthusiast. He's so enthusiastic in making shows happening.
You brought 69 of your 292 pictures here to Duisburg. I think it's the greatest amount you ever show.
Absolutely. It's the first public show of these pictures, and it's a very big show as well. We're very excited.
And you had a lot of things to do to get these pictures. You had to collect or to steal, may I better say to steal, a lot of posters?
All of the posters were stolen one by one, 3,712. So we are real criminals.
Okay. Criminality is also the content of the posters or of the pictures.
Many of the pictures deal with criminality.
Do you think that the world is bad?
It depends, because criminality is part of our whole culture. It depends which country you come from. It's a huge discussion. You get articles in newspapers at the moment saying this person comes from Bulgaria or Romania, a country well known for organized crime. It's a part of everyday discussion. It's quite extraordinary. We're all complicit. We're all part of everything.
We wouldn't like to be criminals, but I mean, the subject is there every single day. You know? If you live in a big city, you cannot stop what you call reporting criminals, deaths, crime, robbery, all the stuff, killings, all the stuff. You know? And everyone, not only newspaper, in the television, non-stop, the same subject for the last, I don't know, maybe thousands of years.
60% of fiction is criminal. Yeah?
Can you imagine
all the movies?
Can you imagine movies without this kind of subject? Nobody would go to the cinema.
And perhaps also the fact that the headlines are necessary to sell newspapers?
Oh yes, they have to be exaggerated in some way. If not, they don't buy a newspaper. Even artworks have to be exaggerated in some way. If not, people wouldn't be able to see them. No? They have to be more real than real. No?
To sell is normal. If you go into a bookshop and you choose between two books, Murder at the Vicarage or Orgy at the Vicarage, they're all both trying to compete to sell you a copy.
Do you think that this kind of headlines is typical for London?
No. Typical of the Western world.
Except in places where they censor the press. Okay. where they don't have a free press.
Western pictures.
That's quite a lot of places, like all Africa, all China, all
Islam.
Russia, all Islam, all censoring the press. That's why free press is very important. If not, everybody is hiding everything. Criminality, sexuality, behavior, religiosity, all hidden behind the scenes. No? Like now, even now, all in England, all these wicked are, what you call, they all did full of stuff that they shouldn't be doing. You know?
Okay. There is an important question for me because you mentioned something a few minutes before in the press conference. Have you any wishes to the Pope, to the new Pope?
We think it's very good news and very bad news. The bad news is that we have a bigot for a Pope, and the good news is that it's a reinforcement. Let's remember, bigotry is part of the Church. It's very good. Yet again, we know that the Church is anti-humanism.
The last question I would like to have to you is on Sunday, the Foreign Secretary of Germany will open this show. Why did he do so?
I have to ask Walter Schmerling. We don't know.
Okay.
It wasn't by our invitation.
And the show will be here until June, I think. Eh?
Yes, it's quite a long exposure, this show, I think. We're very happy about that. Very pleased.
Yes, we want to set up other places because we like it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.